hidden these things from the wise and understanding, and revealed them to little children. Whenever I hear these words, my attention goes to a saint, Louis Ibiraki, a Japanese saint, 12-year-old boy, who was martyred on the 5th of February, 1597. In the 1500s, there was something incredible taking place in Japan. People were converting in huge numbers. Around 300,000, 500,000 a year were converting to Christianity. And not by doing great wonders, but just by the Jesuits spreading word by mouth, preaching about Jesus. And as people were getting converted, there was a fear that the entire country would soon be a Christian nation. And as they had a distaste or disliking to the Europeans, they wanted to stop it immediately. So the emperor made an order to stop Christianity completely. And the priests had to either run away or face torture and to be killed. One day, 26 people, including Jesuit priests, Franciscan priests, and lay people were gathered together and taken to be crucified, not hanged, not tortured, not just killed immediately, but to be crucified 400 miles away. For 27, 28 days, these 26 people were taken from village to village, were being mocked at, things thrown at them. In fact, in one village, Louis Ibiraki, ear was clipped off. And he said that he did not cry, but this 12-year-old boy laughed. At the first hymn that was sang about rejoicing, and the psalm as well about rejoicing, he rejoiced. In fact, on the way, it is written that he met his mother. Both he and his father were walking together to be crucified. And when he meets his mother on the way, he tells his mother, "I will meet you soon in paradise. Do not weep." And when they reach the place, he asks the guards, "Which is my cross?" And when they pointed out to a small cross, he ran and he hugged it. Today's gospel reading is an intellectual insult or to the intellectual pride of the scribes and Pharisees, saying that children will know me more than you all. But what is this word know? As I mentioned in the introduction, it's mentioned twice in the gospel today, to know. The word know in Hebrew is yada, and in Greek is ginosko. It's not a usual knowing. They have different words for to know. We have just one in English, to know. Oida in Greek means to know intellectually. It's a scientific knowing. When we study, we look at each other, we know the names of plants and animals. That is to know, to understand. But ginosko is far deeper. It is a knowing in relationship. It is how parents know their children, how husbands and wives know each other. And in today's gospel reading, Jesus is challenging us to know Him, to truly know Him, and that the knowing will be revealed to us. A man once who had changed his life and embraced Christ was asked, "What do you know about Christ? Do you know when he was born, where he was born, how many years he lived, what work he did? Do you know the Bible by heart?" And he said, "What I know is I was once a drunkard. Now I have left drugs. I've left alcohol completely. I used to take drugs. I have stopped that. I used to be a bad husband. Now I'm a loving husband. I used to be a bad father. Now I am a better father to my children." This is about knowing Christ. This is how Louis Ibiraki knew Christ. Knew Christ so much that, like St. Paul, who was imprisoned and in prison wrote about rejoicing, he rejoiced even when his ear was cut. Maybe this is the trick of knowing Christ. Then when we have heavy burdens put on us, we don't complain, but rejoice. As a young priest, not a priest yet, a scholastic, a brother who was studying, there was a craze among us. We all wanted to go to Afghanistan to serve, because the Jesuits had just taken up that mission and we were all burning on fire to go to Afghanistan. And when I told my father back at home, he was quite annoyed and angry with me and said, "Do you want to die?" Well, it's not actually about dying. It's about fixing our eyes on the Lord. It is about knowing the Lord, having a passion for mission. So heavy burdens usually are not heavy enough when you know the Lord. As Mother Teresa was ready to take on, and she even prayed to God to give her more struggles and sufferings. It is not that we love struggles and sufferings. We love the Lord. The gospel goes on further about a yoke to be put on the back. A yoke was made by carpenters of wood, put on the back of an ox, or usually 2 oxen or 2 bulls, and to it the plow was attached for plowing in the field. But the oxen or the bulls had to be brought time and again to the carpenter, because he would once do it, then go on chiseling it till it fit comfortably on the backs of the animals. And a legend goes that Jesus, who was the carpenter, was the best carpenter. And as a carpenter, on the door of his shop were the words, "My yoke fits well. My yoke fits well." It doesn't mean that he's going to give us just enough to carry as much as we can carry. No, that's not what it means. It means that he will put the load on us lovingly, and not just that, he will yoke himself to us. So it is not just we who are doing the work, we are doing it with him, in him, and through him. But very often in life, all of us, me included, we try to go a different path, take a different way. Jesus is leading us one way and we are yoked to him, and we are trying to pull Jesus in the other direction. Whether it comes to our prayers or our way of life, we try to force our will on God's will. And that is where today's reading challenges us to be like children, just to follow their parents, just to follow the Lord in faith. And that is where they were lacking, the scribes and Pharisees. They knew the law, but did not know God. During this Eucharist celebration, let us ask God for the grace we need, that we may be yoked with him. The second reading, St. Paul talks about a yoke of flesh and the yoke of Christ. The choice is up to us. What do you choose? What do we choose at every moment of a day? To be yoked with Christ or to be yoked with the world? One leads us to slavery, the other to freedom. Amen.